One thing I look forward to when flying different airlines is their onboard menu. It's such an integral part of traveling and the onboard experience. We all know a good meal is worth its weight in gold, and a bad meal, well, can sour the whole day. So when I heard Air Canada updated their onboard menu in 2024, you bet your britches I picked up a ticket to check it out. Good morning guys, and welcome back to another video. If all things go to plan, we're going to be flying with Air Canada in economy on one of their 737 MAX aircraft. More importantly, today is going to give us a chance to check out Air Canada's new BISTRO menu. They revamped the menu back in March, so we'll see what's on the menu for breakfast and see what's cooking on board. Flight is set to depart at 8:35, so come along as we go from A to BC. Well guys, this was my last video from the summer of 2024, and I was really looking forward to this flight once I heard Air Canada revamp their onboard menu, which can be found on flights within North America. It's not too often that airlines give their onboard economy menu an update, so it's something to look forward to when they do. And what better way is there to enjoy this experience than on a flight to the West Coast? Of course, we begin 2,100 miles away in the domestic end of Terminal 1 bright and early. Everything seemed to be chugging along pretty smoothly this morning, and since it was just a day trip, I headed straight to security. This was one of few times the line was minimal, so I jumped right through while the going was good. And by the way, I do find it a bit funny that there's a Starbucks right beside security, considering that if you're traveling, you're going to want to skip it anyway since the coffee can't be brought through to the other side. Once you're through, there is a decent choice of breakfast options in the terminal, though since we're after the onboard menu this morning, I purposely skipped the breakfast on the ground and just headed to the gate. Today we'll be departing from gate D38 for our flight to the capital of British Columbia. And if you're a fan of this channel, you'll know that we are the unlucky ones whose aircraft is often obscured, and today is certainly no different. Our views of the aircraft are either this or that. I guess if it's not an obscured plane, it's flying through an airport which has double glass walls. Sometimes there's no winning, is there? Anyway, boarding got underway on time, and as I walk down the jetway, I take a moment to welcome new viewers to the channel, and welcome you all to subscribe for continued travel and aviation related content. It's only one click away. We'll be comfortably seated in 19F, a preferred seat in the emergency exit row. I chose a seat on the right side of the plane to avoid the direct sun on the south side of the aircraft when traveling west. We'll enjoy this flight on board one of Air Canada's 737-8 MAX aircraft. It's becoming one of the main workhorses of the airline with 40 aircraft in service, currently the most common aircraft in their mainline fleet. Each has 169 seats over 2 classes, and the first 3 rows of economy plus the 2 emergency rows are marketed as preferred seating. It takes nearly 5 hours flying to reach the West Coast. We'll fly over Michigan and the great state of Minnesota before crossing back over into Manitoba. Air Canada's MAX aircraft economy cabin is laid out in a 3-3 seating configuration over 23 rows with white seatbacks and dark gray seats. The plane is fitted with Boeing Sky interior lighting, and blue appears to be the main color of choice for the airline. The first row of economy has the monitors on the bulkhead rather than in the armrest, as you can see from my return flight later that evening, though I do prefer the IFE in the handrest in the bulkhead rows. There is a discrepancy between the seat map on the website and what was shown in the scouting report to what I experienced this day. The first 9 rows of economy on this plane are marketed as preferred seats, while the seat map online only indicates the 5 rows in total. Preferred seating is advertised as providing 4 extra inches of legroom, and you're guaranteed to get more in the emergency exit row at the expense of not having a reclining seat in the forward row. Preferred seating or not, one thing I enjoy about this aircraft is the increased space compared with the regular 737 planes. The extra space is noticeable if you're flying on 2 consecutive flights. The seats themselves are pretty comfortable, but good enough to fall asleep in on my return flight. There is a large fully adjustable and well padded headrest at each seat, and you'll be thankful for that on a 5+ hour flight. Seatback houses the adjustable IFE display, which we'll look at momentarily. Below is the table, and under that is the pocket, which contains the BISTRO menu, the safety card, and your favorite turquoise water bottle. You'll also find 2 power outlets per 3 seats, complete with a USB port. And of course, above you have access to the reading light and air control. Overall, no issues with the seat. It's definitely an improvement from the older blue seats. The cabin is spacious and comfortable, and with an aircraft as new as this, everything is still fresh and inviting. When it comes to connectivity, Air Canada offers complimentary texting across various platforms for Aeroplan members. There are several Wi-Fi plans categorized by speed. Prices for these plans change based on the distance of the flight and the time you wish to purchase. Since I'm able to access the free texting service, I didn't bother with the Wi-Fi on this flight. But when I took the red-eye later that evening, I wasn't able to connect on the plane, so the availability is not 100%. Alright, time for breakfast and our first peek into the new menu. The first 2 pages has items geared to start the day. Those on the right page are only served until 10 a.m. There's even an option to buy the business class breakfast, which the lady beside me actually did, but keep in mind it's just the hot item, so there's no yogurt, fruit, or anything else as seen in this video. Besides the breakfast options, there's a variety of sandwiches, sliders, and wraps, and that chicken wrap was a contender for this morning. On evening flights, they also offered the business class dinner. And then of course, you have the snack page. There will be 2 services on this flight, so if you anticipate getting a nibble a few hours later, it's worth picking it up with a meal since you get it for only $4. And so this is what I snagged for breakfast. I picked up the jerky for a snack afterwards. If there's one drawback on these aircraft, and the E220 for that matter, it's the smaller seatback table, and it can get cluttered rather fast. I picked up the breakfast sandwich, which came on a soft whole wheat English muffin. The sandwich was missing some seasoning, and the ketchup added the necessary salt component. And just my opinion, but turkey bacon is not an acceptable replacement for the real thing. Bacon issues aside, it was not a bad sandwich, and the coffee and Biscoff made it a good start to the day. If looking outside the window is not your thing or you're stuck in the middle seat, you'll have the IFE system to keep you entertained. And you'll find a solid selection of entertainment, which I always enjoy during my summers back home. Having the picture-in-picture capabilities is also an added bonus. And you'll also find the BISTRO menu on the screen. Speaking of which, 90 minutes before landing, the second service was offered. Another change to their menu is the pricing for beverages. In 2024, Air Canada announced complimentary beer and wine on flights to the US and within Canada, with cocktails starting at $5. Porter Airlines already offers complimentary drinks and welcomes them to the club. Unfortunately, if you're flying to other destinations in North America, you'll have to look at the next page for the pricing. On flights outside of North America, the bistro menu is not used and the food and drink service is different. And of course, there's a wide selection of coffee, tea, juices, and pop. Since it may or may not have been the afternoon, depending on what time zone you're using for reference, I took advantage of the menu and enjoyed a cream or lager along with beef jerky I picked up earlier. For a flight of 5 hours, I'd have to check out the lavatory at some point. Like Virgin Australia's MAX aircraft, the washroom for economy are quite narrow compared to the older generation of the 737, and they lack a countertop around the sink. Overall, this was a smooth, relaxing flight. I like the revisions to the menu. It's inviting, not overly complicated with various combos and deals, but provides a reasonable selection of hot and cold items, and a nice selection of snacks and beverages. The complimentary beverages introduced in 2024 is also well received. The cabin is also very spacious and enjoyable, which is good since single aisle planes are becoming increasingly common for longer flights. The cost of this flight came out to a very reasonable $250. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Air Canada's new bistro menu, and I'll catch you in the next video.